I mean, I thought this was going to be a debate, not a sort of pathetic ramble from Jon Steafel, reading out the lines written for him by Paul Dacre. Can I say, first of all, Emily, you said that the Mail is a formidable opponent. The Mail is not a formidable opponent because it's run by a bully and a coward, and like most cowards, is a hypocrite as well. Paul Dacre hasn't got the guts himself to come on this programme and defend something which I know Jon Steafel believes is not defensible. And when he talks about Rothermere and what his relatives wrote about Hitler, the sole bit that they've relied upon for this piece is something that Ed Miliband's dad wrote in his diary when he was 17. And what you've got to understand about the Daily Mail, it is the worst of British values posing as the best. And when Ed Miliband went out today, he went out and demanded a right of reply and spoke as he did today. He did that, and I'm glad that David Cameron and Nick Clegg have supported him in what he did. He did it because he actually believes in genuine political debate and genuine freedom of speech. These people do not believe in genuine debate. If you do not conform to Paul Dacre's narrow, twisted view of the world, as all of his employees like Steafel have to do, you get done in. And all I say to all the politicians in Britain, once you accept you're dealing with a bully and a coward, you have absolutely nothing to fear from them.
Jon Steafel, you can start where you want. Bully, coward, with the worst kind of values.
You use those words quoting Alastair, bully, coward. Alastair,
well, I'm not a coward.
Alastair
I'm
would
not a
know.
coward, Mr Steafel. Where's Paul Dacre tonight, and why have you been put up?
Alastair, perhaps you'd let me answer you.
Where's Paul Dacre?
Perhaps you'd let me answer you.
Just let him speak. Jon Steafel.
The reality, Alastair, is that Ed Miliband puts himself forward to be Prime Minister of this country. He puts himself forward on a socialist platform. He makes very clear that the values he grew up with were the values of his parents, and they have shaped him as a man.
His dad wouldn't support his views. He said that in his speech the other day. He said his dad wouldn't support some of his views today.
There are many of his views that his father would have supported, and indeed, as we know from Damien Bride's book last week, his decision to stand against his brother had much to do with following through on his father's legacy.
Does not mean, do you believe, Mr Steafel, do you, not Paul Dacre, who's told you what to say tonight, do you believe that Ed Miliband's dad hated Britain, and do you personally think it was justified to use a picture of Ralph Miliband's grave in your coverage?
Well, first of all,
answer the question, yes or no. Do you believe that?
As I've said to you, Alastair, our piece was based on an examination of Ralph Miliband's right.
Do you support that headline?
Alastair,
did Ralph Miliband hate Britain?
If you'd allow me to finish.
Jon Steafel, those two specific points. The headline said, the man who hated Britain, you had a picture of a gravestone with the words, grave socialist.
Let me answer this. First of all, on the headline, it's a well-established principle of all journalism, which Alastair may remember from the distant days when he was part of journalism, that the headline and the piece should be read in conjunction with each other. If you read that headline in conjunction with the piece, which quotes extensively from Ralph Miliband,
you're not defending the headline, are you?
It's justified. I'm completely defending the headline.
You're embarrassed by Dacre.
Wrong.
You and your colleagues are embarrassed by Dacre. Rothermere's looking at you to be a successor, and that's why you're wriggling now.
I don't resile from the headline for one moment. It's entirely justified. It's entirely appropriate for the piece, and that's why in the paper this morning we made clear we didn't apologise.
Well, you're being very reasonable, so I hope you get the job when he goes.